Hey, legends in the making! You're tuned to WWE Uncovered, bringing WWE to your screen daily. Hit that bell and let's start. Seth Rollins has always called himself a visionary, a revolutionary, a man who sees the future before everyone else. But after what happened on Monday Night Raw, after the moment the world watched him stare Roman Reigns in the eyes and choose to walk away, it became painfully clear that Seth's vision has no room for loyalty, brotherhood, or the bonds that once made the Shield iconic. And now, Roman Reigns has done something nobody predicted. He's opening the door for the return of the one man who could change everything, Jon Moxley. This isn't speculation. This isn't fantasy booking. This is a storm building across WWE. One that Seth Rollins created with his own hands, and now he's about to face the consequences. Seth Rollins' broken promises. For months, Seth Rollins stood in the ring and spoke about unity, leadership, and brotherhood. He talked about how the Shield shaped him, how the bond between him, Roman, and Moxley was something no one else could understand. He even told Roman, with absolute conviction, that despite everything they had been through, they were still brothers. But that promise lasted only until Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns found himself surrounded by enemies: Judgment Day, Solo Sikoa's rising faction, and every challenger hungry to dethrone the tribal chief. And for a moment, when Seth's music hit, the WWE Universe believed the impossible was about to happen. Roman looked up the ramp and, for just a second, you could see real hope in his eyes. But Seth didn't run to the ring. He didn't defend his brother. He didn't honor the promise he made. Instead, Seth smirked, turned around, and walked away while Roman was being overwhelmed. He didn't just refuse to help. He chose to enjoy the moment. That was the moment everything changed. Roman Reigns' response is a game-changer. Seth may have thought he made the ultimate power move. He may have thought leaving Roman to get attacked would prove that his vision was bigger than the Shield. But Roman Reigns isn't the type of man you betray lightly. He doesn't forget, and he certainly doesn't forgive. Within 48 hours, the entire wrestling world was buzzing after Roman made a simple, calm, devastating statement during an interview. Asked about Seth's betrayal, he replied with 5 words that instantly broke the internet. "I know who to call." Those words sent shockwaves throughout the industry. Fans knew exactly who Roman was talking about, and within minutes, one name was trending worldwide: Jon Moxley. Why Moxley matters more than ever. Jon Moxley hasn't been in WWE since 2019. He walked away to rediscover his passion, rebuild his identity, and prove to himself and the world that he didn't need the WWE machine to thrive. He became a global superstar, capturing championships, headlining major events, and redefining what it means to be a fearless, unpredictable performer. But through all his success, one thing never changed: his respect for Roman Reigns. Even when he criticized his experience in WWE, he never attacked Roman. He never dismissed the Shield. He always talked about Roman and Seth like brothers he simply took a different path from. And Moxley always said one thing: if his brothers truly needed him, the bond would still matter. Well, now Roman needs him more than ever. Not just for backup, but for justice. Seth's mistake brought everything full circle. The Shield's story has always been defined by 3 men walking 3 different paths. Roman became the tribal chief, a once-in-a-generation champion. Moxley became a worldwide force, a warrior who made his mark on every promotion he entered. Seth became the visionary, a man constantly reinventing himself, constantly chasing greatness, even if it meant burning bridges. But Seth always had a habit of turning on his brothers when it served him. He did it in 2014 when he shattered the Shield for the first time. And now, years later, he's done it again. But this time, he may have awakened something far bigger than he expected. Roman and Moxley weren't always the closest pairing in the Shield, but they respected each other deeply. And now, Seth's betrayal may be the spark that brings them together again, not for nostalgia, but for retribution. The WWE Universe can feel what's coming. Imagine the moment on Raw when the arena lights dim, the crowd rises to its feet, and that familiar gritty entrance hits. Imagine Roman standing in the ring, battered but unbroken, watching as the man he once called brother returns to stand beside him. Imagine Seth Rollins' expression when he realizes he didn't just betray Roman, he united him with the one man who knows Seth better than anyone else. This isn't just a big return. This is the continuation of a story that began over a decade ago, a story that defined an era. And now that story has one final chapter left to be written. Moxley's return would be unlike anything WWE has ever done. If Moxley returns, it won't be as the same character he left as. He's evolved, hardened, sharpened. The version of Moxley who steps into a WWE ring now would be a man shaped by global battles, brutal matches, emotional challenges, and a career spent proving himself. Triple H's WWE gives talent creative input and freedom, something Moxley values deeply. The environment that frustrated him years ago no longer exists. And the story waiting for him in WWE is too powerful, too important, too emotionally layered to pass up. Roman versus Seth is already a blockbuster feud. Roman and Moxley teaming up to expose Seth's manipulations? That's not just great storytelling. That's generational storytelling. The fall of Seth's vision is coming. Seth's faction, his influence, his mind games, all of it has thrived because Seth believed he was untouchable. He believed he was the smartest man in the room. But nothing threatens his entire world more than the possibility of Moxley returning. Roman alone is a challenge. Roman and Moxley together? That's a nightmare for Seth Rollins. Those two together aren't just dangerous, they're unstoppable. They're the embodiment of everything Seth turned his back on: loyalty, unity, and brotherhood. Seth may think he's playing chess, but Roman just pulled out a game board Seth never prepared for. The Shield's final chapter is approaching. Everything is in motion. The betrayal, the return hints, the shifting alliances, the rising tension on Raw. WWE knows the value of this story, and they know fans have waited years to see it properly concluded. Whether it happens on Raw, at the Royal Rumble, or as a shocking WrestleMania moment, one thing is clear. Jon Moxley's return is closer than anyone realizes, and when he shows up, Seth Rollins will finally face the consequences of turning his back on the brothers who once had his.